Recently we did a home tour video and you guys loved it, but we did get the question a couple times, is there anything that you would have done differently looking back? And yeah, for sure there's always things that we could do different or better, so we're going to go over those today and just share a few things that we probably would do differently if we could remodel this home today. Now there are some things that we have already changed to make them better, like the shelf that I built just the other day. That was something that I installed I didn't like and I redid it. The easy stuff we've already fixed. I would say also in our bedroom we made some big changes to the house. When we showed our tour video, you guys saw the finished final bedroom, but that was a second renovation bedroom. And the first time it was pretty ugly. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Now, the first thing that comes to our mind, the number one thing we would have done different is different windows. When we were shopping for windows for this house, we knew very little about window shopping. We went to the store and basically said, this is the size we need. We wanted to get sliders because the original house had sliders. It fits the opening good. And we just liked the idea of not having a bar through our line, you know, We went to the store, we told them the size, we didn't cheap out, we tried getting decent windows, but we didn't know the difference. And we just let the guy at the desk kind of set it up for us. But the first thing that we noticed after installing these windows and finishing the house is how much noisier it sounds with the new windows.
It was really noisy.
And what I mean is the road noise. We live with a road about 100 feet out from our house out here. And when a car goes by, you can hear it right through the window like the window doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's weird because we replaced some 1970s old windows that were leaky and loose. And
the seals were all broken.
But for some reason, these windows had an obvious, they were lesser, how do you say it? They didn't stop the noise.
They didn't block the noise.
And also, we still had a lot of condensation during our second winter. We had a lot of condensation on the windows, and that's when we started doing research and we learned about windows. And what we found out is that when we ordered our windows, the guy just put in the default glass, which is the thinnest glass you can pretty much buy for windows. It's not good for blocking sound. So what you want to do when you're window shopping is try to see if they can offer a thicker glass. Maybe not all windows can come with a thicker glass option, but these could have, and we didn't know that. So the thicker the glass, the better it is at blocking sound, and also the bigger the gap between the two panes, it helps too.
Yeah.
And that just helps not just for blocking sound, but also for holding heat. So we found out that our brand new windows really weren't as nice as we thought they would be, and they didn't even hold up against the old windows that we took out. So we would have definitely ordered different windows. I might not even buy sliders again because the track is exposed in the house and it gets dirty and nasty.
You know, like flies, they die and they land in it, and it's
dust.
Just like gross.
Just dust and moisture sits in that track. So the windows are one of our biggest disappointments, I think.
We did find a solution though, and we ended up going with some interior storm windows that fit right into the opening. And it reduced the sound down, and it reduced the condensation.
And the heat loss.
Yeah.
So interior storms really worked well. We only did them on the front of the house, but we're really liking them. It's just extra money. It's kind of like having to buy two windows instead of one. The next thing that we would probably change is all the tile. We put this white tile in our kitchen, hallway, laundry area, bathroom, and front entry, and utility room, pantry. A lot of tile. Let's talk about it. Now don't get me wrong, we like tile. It's very durable and it holds up forever. If you install it right, it's awesome. For the front entryway, it's perfect. You come in, you don't have to worry about dirt, water, anything. You just come in and do what you have to do. The problem is we did too much tile and it was mentally draining and it wasn't fun. And when it lost the fun and it loses its, like, you just want to get it done and you hate it and it just doesn't leave a good feel.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that we didn't like. It's just, it was too much for us to deal with, too much tile. It probably didn't help that we were tiling when it was cold out and I'm washing all this mortar and grout and ice, literally ice water outside. My hands were killing me. And
seems like every time we do tile, it's so cold out for some reason. We never do it when it's warm out.
So we may be biased because of that, but we feel like maybe there's too much. And I know Ashley would like, I think, laminate in the hallway.
Yeah, at least to break it up more.
The reason we did the hallway is because we figured we were doing the bathroom, we're doing that laundry area,
and the kitchen, and it all kind of like
ties together,
meets up.
Yeah, but we could have done laminate in the hallway, and it would have been less tile and broken up the rooms and the spaces. Now, some people said we were going to regret the tile because it's hard, it's cold, and things break on it and everything else. But those haven't been a big issue for us.
And then it's slippery.
Yeah. It's not slippery. The laminate floor is much slipperier.
Yeah.
And
this has like a matte finish, and it's not really that slippery at all.
Yeah. And it gets dirty, but it's not that hard to clean. You just wipe it up. And as far as stuff breaking on tile, believe it or not, we've broken more dishes on the laminate than the tile.
And we've even dropped like glass stuff on this floor, and surprisingly it didn't break.
Yeah. Bowls. I dropped a mason jar on this floor and it didn't break. But we've dropped stuff on the laminate floor, glasses and bowls, and they shatter on the laminate. So it's...
I don't know if that was just a fluke or what, but...
Two times on the laminate, and I don't know if we've broken anything on the tile, but we've dropped stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that's a myth, I think, that like anything, we were told anything that drops on tile will break. Not true. And the cold doesn't bother us. I walk around in my socks. It just doesn't feel any different than the other floors in the house. So, yeah, I think mostly it's just too much tile. And one thing that I was afraid of is that this is a mobile home. And I talked about this previously, but mobile home floors aren't made the strongest. There's only 2x6 joists, and it's just not super rigid of a floor structure. So that's why a lot of people don't do tile in a mobile home, because it shifts, it flexes, it bounces, and it's just not a good candidate for tile floors. I took a risk. I doubled up the plywood. I made a really solid subfloor.
And we used Ditra. I don't know if that helps, but we like it.
And I did a deflection calculator to see if the floor was able to hold the tile, and it did pass, so I felt safe doing it. But in use, it does worry me a little because there is some flex. So I've noticed several times when walking, running, or jumping, or carrying Maverick, different things in the house where you're putting a lot of force on the floor, it does crack. I hear like a creak, a crack. You can hear that tile moving. That's not a good sign. Luckily, we have the Ditra underneath it. Ditra is an uncoupling membrane that you put under tile, and it offers a lot of flexibility in the floor. So I'm not worried about the tile popping as you would in a normal situation, but there is flex there. I would recommend to be super careful about tile in a mobile home. We really push the limits on what you could do, I think. Okay, another thing we probably would do differently is the baseboard trim throughout the house. We wanted our house to have a really simple, clean look, natural wood trim, not a lot of decoration. So we used some simple pine boards and just put a little 45-degree bevel at the top of it. We liked how those came out, but they weren't perfect. We went with it, right? At the end of our renovation in our bedroom, I decided to try something new, where instead of a little 45, I put a long slope on the trim where it's just a super deep angle coming down. And that trim just looks so much nicer to us, and it stays cleaner. It doesn't hold dust like our other baseboards. Everything gets dusty in our house because we have wool rugs, wool sheds, there's fibers, and it just gets dusty. So we would prefer baseboards that don't hold as much dust, and I would definitely have done them with a better profile on that trim.
Another thing we would have done differently is installed air exchange units or a unit in the whole home so we can have fresh air being brought into the home at all times.
Right. We had some moisture problems at the beginning of our remodel when we were all kind of living in the back bedroom and everything was closed up especially. And that's when we really started thinking about moisture, condensation, humidity in the home and looking into heat recovery units, all that stuff. Air exchange would be awesome, and we should have put a whole house unit in so that we have that exchange of fresh air coming in. It's so much healthier, and I feel like I missed out by not installing it when everything was open and I had the chance to. I could retrofit a unit, but it's just not as nice as having it in properly. In our bedroom, we actually did install a small single room unit, so we always have fresh air coming in and old air being exhausted out, and it's made a huge difference in the quality of the air in that room.
It just always smells so fresh now.
So an air exchanger would be definitely a big thing we would do differently. And I think that about covers it. There are some other things that are questionable that we're not sure if we would do. For example, in the kitchen, our layout with our back door, we might do that differently.
Maybe.
We're not sure because we actually don't mind it the way it is, but we could have done it differently if we had thought far enough ahead and just moved the back door a little bit, reorganized the cabinets a little bit. We could have done a different layout and the kitchen would have been really nice. But the way it is now doesn't offend us. So it's kind of one of those in between where you could go either way.
And if we did it the other way, we would have lost our bookshelf. So each way has its negatives and positives.
Yeah. But aside from all that, we love the house. Kimoku. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's all. We just wanted to share those with you. Maybe they'll help you guys on your future projects and home remodels. Who knows? So I guess that's all we have for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with another video. So until next time, take care.
Bye.